Hello, everybody, and welcome to Herd Report, guys. I got a special Spotlight Series podcast for you. Today, I am in Amherst, Colorado at Vision Angus. Guys, I got to see the entire cow herd today and all the offering. Whew, this is my first time here, and it was an impressive day. I had a bunch of fun with Brent and Austin today. It was a great time, guys. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them real quick, who I got. Sitting to my right, I got Mr. Austin Veesenmeyer. Did I say it right, Austin?
Yes, you got it right that time.
Yes, nailed it. Oh, we had practiced that, of course, before we started. So, and then next to him, of course, is the man himself, Mr. Brent Veesenmeyer. Brent, how's it going, man?
It's good, Scott. We are honored to have you here, and we had fun. That was a blast doing the tour.
It really was, man. I really appreciate the time, guys. We got to kind of go through everything today. Like that was a lot of fun. And father and son here, by the way, there wasn't any bickering going on today at all when we were out there.
We just, that right and left.
Yeah.
You know, even though I said right, you need to think left, and yeah, exactly that.
It was really good. I worked with my dad for over 20 years, so I totally understand what's going on out there, but they had it down. It was no big deal. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to see. So, but you guys worked great together. The cattle you've put together out here over the years, man, that was a lot of fun. The young stuff, the old stuff, the cows looked amazing. Brent, tell everybody a little bit about Vision Angus, how this started first, because this is the first time on Herd Report. And tell everybody a little bit about Vision Angus, how this all got started. I should say, Tina, your wife, is in the background here. She wouldn't get on the podcast, but she would have prettied it up for sure.
She's got cue cards for us,
yeah,
so she'll get us in line. But no, go back to the 90s, Scott, when Tina and I were both in grad school at University of Nebraska.
Okay.
And we had cows, and then we wanted to just get going a little more on the Angus, and Tina goes back. So Austin and Alex are like 5th generation Angus breeders,
sure,
going back to her family in Missouri.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so then I had some cows that we were leasing through college, and then we decided that, okay, we want to go keep it purebred Angus, and let's start developing this herd. And
I like it. And
so at that time, there was a big push for a lot of the carcass traits and to know more about your cattle, and
sure,
and it was more so that let's learn about what you're producing. And so our first motto was emphasis beyond the gate that we had.
Okay.
So we had a little more focus of that way. Well, here's the evolution to it, Scott, is that as we go through the years, and maybe we were a little more carcass oriented at the time, maybe we weren't, but the more we obtain customers, develop those relationships with customers, our focus had changed more to cattle that need to work for the customer, and the mother cow.
Yeah.
And so when you look at the economics, of things, and the break even time that it takes, to get a female to where she's breaking even for the ranch,
right.
And the dollars that we're investing, especially now,
oh, man,
it all comes around to, that's the foremost focus for us, is those females need to work for our commercial customers.
I like
now,
that.
We're not going to sacrifice carcass, and we're not going to sacrifice performance, but and there's enough genetic diversity out there. I think we're doing the right thing, but the most important thing is that we want fault-free cattle. That's our top of mind, is that to have functional, fault-free cattle that work for our customers and really don't give them any problems.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what we saw today. Like so guys, when you buy bulls here, if you can see the cow herd, I would highly suggest it, because that's going to give you a lot more confidence in the bulls. The bulls look fantastic, but Brent, the cow herd you're building out here is just like second to none. I mean, we got to go through them today, and it's your vision. Like, you can see it out there.
Thank you. That's what, and we've toyed with that term too. And so back up. So
yes.
Veesenmeyer Angus is kind of long, and we didn't want to go there.
Yeah, right.
So
trying to pronounce it.
So we that's where we coined the phrase Vision Angus, and
okay.
and it kind of fit with that emphasis beyond the gate. Well,
sure.
It's a lot of the same now, Scott, where our slogan right now is envision your cow herd, or let's create a vision for your cow herd.
I like that.
And and it helps keep us in focus, in terms of what we see and what we do is probably more important that we're doing that for our commercial customers. And
I agree. Yeah, I love the direction of this program. We were going through that cow herd today, guys, and I told it to Brent too. And I don't know if Austin heard me or not, but I was like, you guys don't care about udders at all here. I mean, those things are just perfect. I think it's a huge emphasis here. It's crazy what you guys have been able to do with that on these cows. I mean, the rib shape and the softness of your cows, and then I mean, the teat and the udders here. I mean, guys, I mean, I didn't see a bad one out there. Like in in your young cows and your old cows and stuff like that. I mean, that has to be an emphasis here.
Yeah, and when we got into the mature cows, I told you there's a lot of recips over there.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And a lot of those are cows that have a particular problem that we don't want to pass on.
So their genetics are out.
Yes.
Yep. So then you just turn those into recips.
Yes.
Yep. Or take them to town, I imagine, or one or the other. So that's incredible. I love the discipline there in the breeding decisions and what you guys are doing, because there are recips out there, guys, that like might have had one long tit or something like real goofy and little that some of us, me, probably would have kept in our cow herd. And to see the discipline for guys like this after being in this for years and years, that's really cool.
Well, and I'm not going to put up, and we didn't talk about this out there, but we do have a sire group on the younger cows that we're a little disappointed in terms of that, and they're pretty much going to become recips this year.
Yep. I don't doubt that at all. I'm sure they will, guys, 100%. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun to see. Austin, it was great to have you out there, man, today. Austin was the one that unfortunately had to get out of the side-by-side because I was too lazy and bringing the cows to us. So I appreciate that, my man.
I think the parents have done a lot of good work on disposition over the years. And maybe it started as when I was a toddler and playing with my little tractors outside of a pen, and a cow was calving and walking in there and kind of getting rolled a few times. And maybe that kind of spurred things to where it's like, okay, if anybody gives us any issues, they're
out,
going to town, or something else is being done with them. And so that's been, easy. That disposition fits a lot into the problem-free type of cattle. It's something that you can be comfortable around. You don't have to be nervous around them, and cattle that can just work and be managed properly and easily too.
Yeah, I agree, because they just had, some of them had fresh calves out there, guys, and we'd have a problem with one cow. Like they were all easy to go through. I scratched a couple of them. Yeah, disposition here is another great point to bring that up, Austin, because that is another thing that I was really impressed with out there. Because, we didn't have no high-headed cows out there, no high-headed heifers, no high-headed bulls. Like, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, the disposition here is absolutely stellar. Yeah, very cool. So where do you see this going forward, Brent? What's your vision going forward now?
That's a good question. You didn't prep us with that one, warn us on that one. So we want to involve science, and you want to involve genomics, numbers, information, and we're all struggling with that now.
Absolutely, we are.
But it's a tool, and so that's a challenge right now. Is how much of that do we bring in? How much do we incorporate? And it depends on the particular situation whether we're going to look at science more or less. And so we're doing a lot of commercial heifer acquisition and placement from our customers, and so we're stepping into more of the Gene Max and some of those things. Yeah,
I like that.
And learning there as we go.
I like that.
You still have the question, okay, just because her Gene Max cow advantage score is super high, is she still going to be a good cow? Well, yeah, and we'll learn more as we go.
Absolutely.
But I don't think we want to put up our hands and say, no, we're not going to touch that at all. And so I think there's a little bit of blending of science, but there's a lot of blending of cow sense. And still, the most important thing is that when we talk about sires that we're going to use AI or we're going to make these matings, is that we want to know the cows behind them, the performance, and even the people, Scott, because the particular other seed stock operations that we work with in terms of selecting their genetics and what we're going to incorporate and involve, we need to have confidence in that too. And so whether you've got confidence in the data, confidence in the pedigree, confidence in the breeder, we still want to pull all that together.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking forward, still bring all those things together, but just continue to make cattle better, more problem-free for our customers. Now, the other thing that as you look forward to, right now in the industry, we want big cattle on the feed yard side. We want heavy carcass weights,
yep, absolutely,
pounds,
1,000%.
So will that continue? I don't see that continuing forever. It might be another 5-year, 7-year trend or whatever. The other issue, and I mentioned this a couple other places too, and Matt Perrier is the one that brought this up, is water. And so if we become really limited on water, then that changes the whole focus in terms of how we're raising cattle too.
I agree.
So, but I think that's still far enough way ahead. We don't need to worry about that. And so we still want to.
He might.
Yes, he will. Yeah. And so we still need to be in the moment. We still need to be conscious of what the market is demanding, the demand for beef and
yes.
And what feed yards are doing. And so I think, and more of that, the more performance data that we can get out of feed yards, the more carcass data that we can get, help us learn that as well, in terms of helping our customers make their decisions too. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there is.
And that answer.
We have to be conscious of it, and we got to be aware, and we got to kind of stay educated is what really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what.
Yeah, I agree. And I like bringing the science into it like you're talking about. I think we're just going to have to continue down that road. No, I agree 1,000%.
But don't lose our cow sense.
Yeah, we got to blend it the right way.
Yes.
Yep, I agree. I can tell you the future for next year, guys, looks awesome. I saw a bunch of baby calves out here that I'm really excited about. I don't care if I don't come back next year to do a podcast. I'm coming back which I hope I do. But I'm definitely coming back next year to look at those calves. There's a couple flushes out there that were smoking good.
That's what I told Austin. I said, if we fail at the podcast, Scott is coming back to look at babies a year from now, no matter what.
I am, no matter what, guys. Jeez, it was really impressive out there today. So the sale's March 2nd, and it's in North Platte, Nebraska.
Yes. So we went to grad school, and then we ended up at Curtis. I taught there at the college for a while, and then we kind of got going there. And so the bulk of our customers are central Nebraska. You said it here. It's pretty darn flat here. And
yeah, I thought I lived where it was flat, guys. This is different. Yeah, this is flat.
It's not cow country, but so we take the bulls to North Platte,
Sure.
and so we're under a roof, we're inside. It's a central location. People can do other shopping and other commerce in North Platte. It works really good.
Yeah, and there's hotels there if they want to come in the night before or stay after the sale or yeah, it's a nice town. Yeah. I stopped there on the way here actually. I've been through North Platte a lot, but yeah, I agree. That's a nice spot to stop. So, and great fairgrounds, like you said. But yeah, that's a really cool advantage, by the way, that it's covered. And I'm sure you've had sometimes, March 2nd is usually pretty nice, but I'm sure you've had some times where you're like, oh man, this is kind of nice having it.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's worth the cost, we're going that way.
Yeah.
And in our customers, we've got some as far as east as Greeley and Spalding area, and that's a long jaunt to come here. So we're just going to keep doing that as long as those fairgrounds are there.
Okay, that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right, you guys want to jump into this catalog?
Yeah.
Talk a little about some of these bulls?
Let's do.
All right, let's kick this off, man. We're going to kick off some of these spring bulls. 5001 lot 20, the Brunos. Let's talk about these calves real quick. This 5001 lot 20, hey, he's pretty cool. He's a big boy, and he's awesome, man.
And a pet, too.
Yeah.
He's fun to be around. So Bruno is a bull that we selected from Collier's.
Oh, okay.
He's a resilient son, treasure tests, bacteria renown.
Okay.
That bull, so Matt McFarland got us on that bull. And in terms of foot size, foot quality, bone structure, and then muscle mass, just really hard to beat.
Yeah.
He is a stout beast, and he's done a great job, in terms of passing those traits on. And so we've got, this is one of the favorite ones out of a rangeland daughter. And we really like the rangeland daughters. And so we really like that cross of Bruno on rangeland.
Is he the biggest yearling weight bull? 1611?
Yeah.
For a yearling?
One of.
Yeah, he's got to be right up
Yep.
there. Yeah, he's a brute, man. I thought he was really cool, really deep. That's a neat calf.
Over 1 on marbling, 0.7 on ribeye. We don't give anything up there.
He's over a 1 on... Man, that's a kind of a cool looking bull for me, over 1 on marbling. Wow. I liked him. That's cool. I didn't know he's over a 1 on marbling. Yeah, you're not giving up anything there now.
No, and his mama is, we showed you a lot of rangelands.
Yep.
And that's part of how we're going to kind of layer in some different genetics. But the rangelands and the judgments, the Atlantis is in there, and then we use Bruno to bring in resilient, and we hadn't used stellar any, and so we're going to kind of pull those genetics in there, and then that's a good combination.
I like that. Yep, very cool. That was 5001. 5035 is lot 22. He's another Bruno we definitely got to talk about. Another really nice calf out of a remedy daughter.
So when Millbrae dispersed, we did get a couple heifers out of there that have really worked well for us. And she's a big stout cow with a lot of foot and a lot of bone too. And you put Bruno on her, and he is, I mean, that is a big square top,
a big square top,
square hip, and,
man almighty,
and good calf to be around. And again, puts a nice balance of carcass traits together, and the maternal's there, the foot quality's there. If I'm missing something, you just say so.
Absolutely.
But he's a thick-ended dude, yes.
Yeah, thick dude. I like that calf a lot. 5068, I got some really cool videos of this calf. He's really great. He's lot 21.
So going back to the female side, I was sharing with you when Osmond's dispersed.
Yes.
We got a Forever Lady out of there, and then he goes back to that cow. And that Forever Lady line that we got out of that dispersal is probably the biggest hip females that we have. And
yeah.
Udder quality's there, the bone
the
and the
hips are
stoutness.
nuts. Yeah.
But I know Austin really likes that bull too, and you talk about what you see in that bull himself.
Yeah, and for being even a March 2nd calf, so he's pretty well on the later, younger end of our calves, but that bull still really performed well. There's still a lot of frame there and still a lot of softness. And the thing about the Brunos is that bull wasn't all that big. I mean, there was a lot of substance to him. We talk a lot of foot and bone and a lot of power, but he actually probably put a little bit more growth and length into his offspring than what he probably represented himself. And so that's been kind of a nice compliment, even on some of these. We kind of used him on some bigger cows, and then some more not necessarily moderately framed, but not just the biggest frame cows. And I think everywhere we used him, they still offered a lot of performance and a lot of growth there. And so that's kind of been a nice compliment, but still bringing a lot of power on top of some pretty strong maternal genetics, especially in that Rainmaker daughter.
Yeah, that 4404 cow was outstanding. Brent asked me when we saw this calf, tell me his birth date. And I was like, well, I mean, he's in the big guy, January, December, March. I was like, well, you would never guess that on this calf, ever, that he's a March.
Yeah, and I mean, the performance is there, the look is there, just so stunning and correct and balanced, and the EPD package is balanced, and there's not really any holes there. He's a bull that we'd kind of like to use in the future and maybe try to find a partner on. And
he was just so clean and nice made, and I'm really excited that you're going to bring him back into the herd and use him like that. If you can, get the right partner on him, or however you're going to go about it. But, and guys, pay attention to that. I mean, that's a big thing when guys going to use his own bull back in his herd. That speaks a lot, because obviously he's chasing the maternal side of that bull as well, but he puts everything else together as well. And I mean, we were looking at another one we were talking about, and Brent told me, well, we got a brother that we think we're going to keep back in the herd maybe, or try to. And I said, man, I can't wait to see him, because that one was really good. And I could see why they're going to keep this guy and put him back in the herd, or try to get a partner on him, or however they're going to do that. But he's stellar. He's killer.
Now
I like this calf.
We only got one calf crop out of Bruno.
Oh, no.
Things didn't work out. We haven't talked about that.
Right.
But to find the muscle and the bone and the foot in a decent, some of these Brunos are heifer bulls too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's crazy.
And then the balance of the marbling and the ribeye.
Yeah.
The maternal traits and maternal numbers are in just the right quantity there as well. People are you just can't find something like that. I think. I mean, he's really unique.
He is super unique.
And we're going to try to kind of get that out here a little bit more, but it's pretty special.
Yeah. So will there be any, so is this the only crop of Brunos then? Will you have any more like next year?
No. That's why we need to pick one of these two cats.
You got to get that guy back in the herd. I can understand the urgency to do that. And no question about it, man. I didn't know that was the only... I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the only crop you had.
That's the way of cows and things happen, but that's the way it is. And so that's what our impetus here is all right, we need one of those sons.
Yeah.
And go from there.
I totally understand that. All right, guys, we're going to move into the Vision deep waters now. We just were talking about how he's going to plug in a bull that they raised. Here is one that they raised, and it worked pretty well. I love coming to guys' place and seeing when they use their own genetics back in their herd. And these calves stand out. There's some of the highlights of the sale, and I love that they're using their own genetics back into their herd. I just think it complements things that they've done here, and these deep waters are good. Talk about deep water a little bit. and then we'll get into the calves. But talk about what deep water does here for you guys.
Okay, so deep water goes back to the primrose cow family. And when Sandpoint dispersed, then we bought a cow that really did a good job for us. And so we're going to talk about another primrose daughter here in a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
But this cow is a unanimous primrose, so she's a 16 model. And this is the dam of deep water. And in terms of functionality and foot and udder and, I would put her at one of the, we've seen a lot of unanimous cows over the years, and I'd put her at the top in terms of how she's been fertile and milked enough and everything. And so that's the foundation there, and, a little older cow, but deep water is
Ellingson Deep River.
Deep River's son.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Bringing in a little bit more performance there.
Yep.
And then also the Copal Advance on the bottom side.
Yeah, we love
is what we've got that laced in here quite a bit. Yeah. Now you were talking about the docility, and that's the downside to Advance, but
not here.
I think we've done a good job with that as well. So that's part of what we've done there is when we brought in Deep River, and then bring in the Advance, and then we put that with unanimous and kind of layer in some of those genetics that have worked well for us. Deepwater was one of our higher selling bulls here a few years ago.
Yep.
The Ibaugh family bought him, and then he crashed and burned too. We had a bad accident that winter, and so it's pretty limited on semen. I know they love the calves, and they love them as well, but I'm going to have Austin explain, in terms of phenotype, what that bull really does, deep water.
That'd be great.
What do you see in them?
Yeah, I think we like a lot of quality in terms of how the cattle look and balance and build. And so, yes, numbers and performance and muscle and power and all that's really important, but going out and looking at and liking the cattle that we're raising is huge to us, because if I don't enjoy going out and looking at them and finding quality and some kindness or some likelihood of those cows, it's just not quite as fun. But deep water really puts a lot of look and a lot of balance and structural integrity into those cattle. And so maybe they're not just out there crazy in terms of dollar values and carcass values, but all of those bulls, and there's not very many of them, and this will be the first group of deep waters to sell, and I think the only ones to sell anywhere this spring, but just all really, really big power bulls that have a lot of length to them, really square hip, big pinned, and still have enough softness and enough dimension of body to them to where they can still put a lot of maternal genetics into a cow. And so that's what we've really liked about them, is just the extra look. And from the couple pictures that we've splashed on Facebook so far, it's pretty easy to pick out the deep waters just in terms of the extra quality and eye-catching ability that they have on those type of cattle.
Brent, if he ever does a podcast, I'm out of a job. If he ever decides to do what I do, I'm nobody's going to hire me anymore.
Well, these young guys that judge shows and get to do that stuff, they're just so eloquent, and us old guys stumble around a little bit.
Understand it, like he said it so I could understand it, which was nice. Yeah, I would agree with everything he said. That was awesome, man.
I'd attribute a little bit of that to the state FFA genetics that come through in this family too. It kind of both parents, and then Alex and I were both state FFA officers, so we had a little bit of training to kind of go down that route of getting out and talking to people, which, as you know, is a big part of this business too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not really what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of times. It's kind of in every business, though. That's kind of the way it is. But yeah, you did a great job, man. Are you a judge? Do you judge some?
Yeah, I do judge some fairs here and there. Yep,
that's cool.
Try and stick to more the cattle side. Of course, that's more so my background. But yep, collegiately judged at Butler and then K-State as well. So I was on two pretty good teams there. And
pretty good. They're both national champions.
Just pretty good. Yeah. That's cool, man. That's exciting. You raised a good one, Brent. Tina, you did good. You did real good. What a cool. Deep water's awesome, guys. Let's talk about a couple of these sons here. 5002, lot 17. This is a great calf, of course, out of a great cow.
Yeah, so that's a true North daughter that we actually bought as a bred heifer from Brent and Angus a couple years ago out of one of his kind of herd reduction sales.
Very cool.
And that's a female that we like a lot. We like a lot of things about the true North daughters. Most of them are probably a little bit more geared towards the moderate side of things. Foot and udder quality is really good. A lot of maternal strengths there, but that one probably brings a little bit more frame and length to her.
Yeah, I was a little shocked when I saw her. Yeah, because most of the square Norths are like you just said, and she's got some gas in her.
Yeah, and she's got a blueprint daughter that's actually a first calf heifer this year. Looks amazing, probably moderate her a little bit, and so really like the frame size there. But we threw deep water in there, and there's just a ton of power and a ton of look in that bull. And,
Boy, it ain't
and so... Yeah, if anybody's looking for one that, we're still going to keep back some heifers, he's going to do a great job at that. But gosh, if that guy's just all geared towards selling calves at weaning or putting a little bit of feed and weight on them after weaning, I think that guy is going to do it as good as any out of this offering.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure calves are bringing a pretty penny in town right now. I think weight's a pretty,
Especially the good-looking ones.
yeah, especially the good-looking ones. They got some power and some good look to them for sure. 5,004. I got roped by this calf rib. He's just, the middle of this guy's, oh man, stellar. What a cool calf, 5,004, this deep water.
Long and balance and the look. And so those two bulls are, we don't have a lot of deep waters, but those two really stand out as a pair.
Oh yeah.
That are just alike and just, yep. And so you want to talk about feeder calf value in terms of some grow, some look, and some quality. Couldn't do any better.
No way. Yeah, those deep waters were an outstanding set, guys. So, hey, we're going to take a real short, quick break here on Herd Report, guys. You're not going to go anywhere. I'm telling you, we got some highlights left and, of course, the female. So hold on tight. We're going to be right back on Herd Report.
This is the Spotlight Series, part of Herd Report, where we shine a light on the cattle operations driving progress in genetics. Want your upcoming sale featured on the show? Visit ruralradionetwork.com, click Advertise with us, and get your herd in the spotlight today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Herd Report. Guys, everybody's still here with me. We're going to jump right back into this catalog, but we're going to address a little bit of the elephant in the room, I guess. You guys have probably noticed this already by now, but Austin did not lose a battle to his wife. He actually lost it to a gate, right? Is that correct?
I did, yep. It was kind of a late night, tossing a few flakes of hay in the center pen of the trailer and thought I was a little bit behind where the gate stops, but I was actually a little bit ahead of where it stops, and so gate got whacked, and I got whacked too, but thankfully no concussion.
Really?
So I'm here to talk as fluently as I can.
You do a good job of that.
We're managing pretty well. A couple staples and stitches later, and we'll keep on rolling.
I'm glad you. Yeah, I didn't see the extent of it. You were out there, and I saw the little cut on your cheek, but I didn't see the rest of it. You had sunglasses on at first, and then so I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're okay, man. That had to be spooky for Dad and Mom too, and your wife. I'm sure that was scary for everybody involved.
It was a FaceTime of just showing the ceiling of the hotel room and talking through like, okay, don't freak out. I'm doing fine. I'm sitting here in good spirits, not passing out or anything.
That's good. I'm glad you're okay, man. Man, that's spooky. I had something like that happen to me a long time ago, and I'm glad you're okay. So that's good, man. All right, let's kick into these rangelands. Lot 61 here, guys. I'm just going to let Austin describe all these bulls because I'm having fun listening to him. This is a podcast I'm going to listen to, I think, a lot because I really like how Austin talks about animals. But talk about Lot 61, Brent, the rangeland bull, maybe a little bit first, and then let's let Austin take over and talk about the phenotype. But talk about Lot 61 and his pedigree a little bit.
All right, so we would have seen quite a few rangeland daughters.
A ton of them, and I loved them.
Atlantis daughters.
The udders are awesome.
And of course, Judgment's an Atlantis son.
That's right.
So Brian Stoller was here yesterday, and I was teasing him, why did you use Maternal Dream? I could really use that name right now because for this bull.
That's right.
And he's like, well, you still can. And so I think Scott coined him Maternal Gold.
I did.
You know, in this Atlantis daughter, I mean,
I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I took a lot of video of her. I actually took a video so I could put it in the podcast.
So we're going to talk about the Evergreen. So it's the Evergreen cow family.
Yeah, awesome.
I mentioned years ago I went up to the Osmond dispersal, and then I brought home an Evergreen daughter that goes back.
Right.
And so Mike Osmond would have been getting those genetics through Judd Baldridge, and then Judd would have gotten those genetics from Brian McCullough at Woodhill. And so Brian is well aware of our evergreens and how popular they are here. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, Tina said, guess how many evergreens are, popular, or what's the percentage of evergreens in our herd? And it's 60%, 2/3 or something like that. It's prepotent is the word that Tina uses. And so anyway, we've got a density daughter that we're doing a lot with. And so this is an Atlantis density back to that original evergreen cow. And then we put rangeland on top of that. And so maternal gold is just fits him perfect. And,
it really does.
In terms of that. And then you see him.
You're right.
And Austin can explain, describe him.
I think looking at the type of cow that rangeland is made for our first and second calf heifers. Just really long bodied, easy fleshing, pretty fronted, and still made incredibly well. I think foot quality on the rangelands has been awesome.
Yeah,
we haven't had to cull anybody there. Teat and udder quality is probably one of my favorite attributes about those cattle, and just how neat and tidy they are, and even in suspension and spacing, just something that you don't have to worry about. As long as that calf gets up, it's like, okay, we're golden here. But that bull really emulates the type of females out there. Very well balanced, long and attractive fronted, but still really bold and dimensional in his center body. And those rangelands are still really square made. There's enough power there. He's not one of the great big power bulls of the offering, but there's other genetics that probably cater to that just a little bit more. But in terms of making females and making problem-free cattle, that's a guy that we've got pretty high hopes on.
Yeah, if you guys are into retaining your heifers, which I think more people are going to start getting into that again, right? We're going to start building the cow herd back here.
Kind of hoping it really needs to.
Yes, it does. So, yeah, if you're into that, this maternal gold bull, this lot 61's the bull for you. And his steers calves will still top the sale. I mean,
his adjusted yearling weight's 1450.
Yeah,
and any balanced, very nice balanced EPD package. No holes.
No holes, none at all. Yeah, the rangeland females out here, guys. Just to again say what Austin said, there's so many of them out here, and they're so good. That teat and udder on those girls. I was really impressed with how long they were and how easy flesh they were. Austin led off with that right away. And that's not something you see in all cattle all the time, is when they can keep that length of spine and still be deep and still hold their structure and still be easy fleshing like that, and that's a pretty unique quality out there, I thought. And then to have that teat and udder. So guys, pile into this calf, lot 61, I'm telling you, especially if you're into keeping your own heifers, that's going to be the bull for you. I really believe that. All right, you're going to move on to some of these judgments. We got some pretty cool judgments to talk about now. These fall calves. Boy, talk about judgment and how you guys use him here and what he's done for you, because I saw a ton of females out here, again, also by judgment, massive rib, big middle, awesome females. So talk about that. Talk about judgment, what he's done for you. And
David Brown at Montana Ranch raised him, calls him a high satisfaction, or the high sasatisfaction sire.
We talked about that when we were going through the bulls. I totally agree with that statement, 1,000%. Like, every one of them's good, just great cattle.
Yeah, and it comes back to that in terms of how we're breeding cattle and how we want them to function. There's more traits there, that look like we've got a lot of longevity. We've got production, we've got performance, we've got the quality traits. We're basically fault-free in a lot of situations at this point. And so that the future looks just incredible there. And like a lot of maternal-oriented bulls, you may not have these spiffy EPDs here and there, but they're pretty darn solid. And the couple EPDs that I really want to do more with on him are the RADG and the DMI. You look at that relationship on those on that bull.
That's great. I love that.
But I think the females have surpassed our expectation, and we just can't wait to just keep propagating that in the herd and keep building that, because it fits our values and it fits our vision.
I love that. Yeah, I like that. No, the judgments are really cool. Lot 1. He's actually the first bull I saw today. I went into the fall pen, and he was standing out on the manure, kind of on the hill, the manure pile, or the old manure pile, whatever it is. And man, he's a stud. And he's so clean made, and he's hard to get over. That's one that's hard to shake when I'm gonna think about him for a few more days, for a long time probably. That calf is really good.
Yeah, so we let off with those brothers. So he's out of the 202 Evergreen, the density cow.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
I don't know, there's 4, 5, 6 sisters out here, and there's more coming.
So good.
And
they're so good.
Last year I told Scott the first 3 bulls in the ring, one of our better customers just win-rode them, and
that's awesome.
And
smart man.
Those heifers and the steers are going to be good too. But that's going to be the best set of heifers, commercial heifers that could be. And
man, if he ever takes those to town and sell any of them, guys, go get them.
They're going to be good.
Oh my, yeah. And this lot 1 bull, guys, is so good. I can't get over. I want Austin to explain him to you, because I mean, I love him that much. But Austin, talk about lot 1. Tell everybody what he looks like, because I think he's spectacular.
I think smooth and dense are 2 words that describe him pretty well. I mean, a bull that, you look at him on paper, there's a little bit of birth there, but there's just he's exceptionally smooth made. He's not like a really big, coarse shouldered type of bull.
Agreed.
There's power there, but there's power in a very smooth package. And when that guy, he kind of walks up on the hill and the mound and parks and throws his head up, and it's just a really stylish and attractive look. And you can just kind of envision the daughters that would come out of him and just love the softness of body and just the mass and dimension of rib there. And he doesn't give up anything on power. It's not a real jumpy muscle shape, but it's just super smooth, and it's a very maternally made muscle shape.
Yes,
is what I would call it.
Yes, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. I couldn't do it any better. I know I can't. He does a great job. Yeah, I agree. I love that calf, guys. Definitely check him out. His flush brother, lot 2, is no slouch. No slouch though. He's right there behind him.
Yeah, I think a bull that maybe doesn't go out there as extreme in terms of length of front end and softness of center body, but that guy's just as long and just as square and big hip to him, and those cattle are really, really sound. I mean, for kind of being some heavy falls that are looking pretty good right now, I mean, they still get out and motor pretty good. I mean,
they moved really nice today. I was really impressed with their movement. Yeah, really athletic made bulls too.
That pedigree, Scott, when you look at the birth data, it's not, it's a little higher, but gosh, I mean, we've got 20 some daughters out of 202, and then in judgments and rangelands and more coming. And the calf shape is the most important. And you guys hit on smooth, and that's what we see at birth, with judgments, is the head shape, the shoulders, foot size, and everything. Just, we have not touched a one. That it's just really good. And so that's the most important part there is that people need to think about when you see some birth data. Well, what do the cattle look like, and then put that together.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Lot 3, here we go with another brother. I have square wrote by him. Like, I just think he's a really square made. Still looks like his 2 brothers for sure, but still just maybe a little squarer made.
Yep. I think the muscle shape really came out in that guy, and that's kind of a trend that we'll see with a lot of judgments, and even with the females and the daughters that we've taken to Denver and the pen show, is they're powerful cattle. A lot of pin width and hip shape to them, but still yet again in that smooth package. And yeah, this guy is just really bold ribbed and a lot of squareness and width underneath of him too.
Yeah, I agree too. Here we got some pretty cool ones. These Atlantis, I think their pedigree is pretty cool. Lots 11 and 12. They're full brothers to something, aren't they?
Yeah, Montana Kingdom.
Yeah,
brothers to that. So they're Atlantis, and these are coming 2s.
Right.
They were born in April. We put those embryos in late. We did not offer them for sale last year. So they're Atlantis out of Montana Rita in 1993, and I'm going to call her one of the more popular cows in the country right now.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Value, a lot of valuation in terms of what she sold for and her progeny. Very popular this fall at the Montana Ranch female sale, and then the bulls as well. And there's a lot more of those coming, and that cow is amazing. And so if you go back, we talk about judgment, I'm going to call him one of the more photographed bulls in America. Shauna Brown does such a great job of candid pictures.
Yes.
And so you can go back, and we've got it in our catalog, and so I invite you to check that out there. But go back through her in the Montana Ranch pictures, and you're going to see judgment at every season and every pasture and every place. And
that's a fact.
And the cow that one of the more famous ones, he's kind of chinning this cow, and that's her. And that's 1993. And
that's cool,
man. And there was a couple, they had a couple progeny there. But these two guys are wide bodies. They're stout. They're correct. And then the maternal side is just over the top.
Yeah. Famous pedigrees. Oh man, these Craftsmen. So we're gonna move on to the Craftsman sire group now, guys. And we were driving around and we were looking at cows, and Brent pointed out a couple cows, and he said, that's the kind of cow we use on Craftsman. And I'm like, okay, cool. I could see that working. And he goes, yep, our Craftsmans are pretty good. And I said, okay, cool. And then we saw the Craftsmans, and well, Brent can tell you my reaction when I saw the first one, this lot 38.
I wished I'd had video of Scott's eyes popping out of his head, because this, and seriously, Craftsman isn't for everybody, and there's some attributes of that bull that he brings that are really good. That cow had an impeccable record up there at Keneally's. The numbers fit really well, and if you're going to talk about, let's do some Angus Link, some genomics, some Gene Max things on Craftsman progeny, you're going to score really well.
Yeah.
And, from a commercial standpoint in terms of helping market those calves. But I think we did a really good job of mating him very selectively, and we've got a pretty good handful of them, because we did use some male semen to generate more bulls in that situation. But so the one that you're talking about first is out of Deepwater's mother.
Yeah, I didn't even lead with that. Yeah, out of Deepwater's mother.
And the Primrose cow that, functional and been with us for a lot of years, she's a 16 model. And that really, he's cool.
I've never seen a Craftsman with that much shape and muscle put together. I'm gonna let Austin tell you what he looks like.
with the center body shape.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Yeah, go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I think using him on maybe some more moderate cows, but we still used them on quite a few cows that had a little more frame and length to them. But center body dimension and fleshing ability was where we really kind of pushed him towards, and I think it shows up nicely in the bulls.
Oh, nicely, very nicely, yes.
I think, you can still call these cattle pretty easy fleshing.
Yeah.
And going back to, when we talk about generating females for customers and growing their cow herd, and in terms of how we go out and select for that ourselves in terms of our bull purchases, it's looking a lot back at the cow family.
Sure.
And so cow family on the sire side, but probably in terms of female retention for us, more so cow family on the dam side.
Nice.
And so that's where we really selected him here, and that's where it worked out really well, was just sticking with some easy fleshing, big body type of females that have stuck around for a while, and that unanimous daughter is been around for quite a while too.
Yeah, she's sweet, and this bull is sweet. I was shocked. That is crazy.
I have the mental picture of it, and I just need to paint it. That's what I need to do.
That's awesome. You blew me away. I love that calf. I think he's awesome. I think you use him in a lot of places. That's a really cool calf. Lot 39 is another one right here, another Craftsman out of a great pay weight plus daughter.
So that pay weight plus daughter is a Primrose also, and so she's related to
that's right.
The dam of and so this is by design.
Yes,
this is not by accident.
Of course.
This cow is probably one of our, in terms of records, she's 4-99, 4-108, 4-101,
Oof.
IMF 2-116, ribeye 2-101, rapid early growth, really moderate mature size, fleshing ability, and then her udders is just as nice and refined as any of those heifers too. I mean, she's done a great job for us.
Great job. Yeah. This is a cool calf too. I thought lot 39 was awfully nice. Another great Craftsman, guys. No doubt about it. So lot 39, 40, and 41 are all flush mates, guys. Great set of bulls here. We just talked about 39, but 40's great too, and 41.
They're not much different. You could tell that
it's fun. It would be fun for guys to just buy all three. I don't know if they put all three in the ring or not. I haven't been to one of their sales, but if they do that. And then, because we talk about consistency all the time in calf crops, and that's the way to get three flush brothers all together. You're going to get a lot more consistency in your calf crops.
They're nice. They're neat. It was fun. And we're excited about the daughters too out of that flush.
Oh
They're
yeah,
gonna be,
I bet you guys are. I can imagine how good those are. I bet that's awesome. I can't wait to see those for sure. This lot 43, I mean, he's big middle too. Another Craftsman here out of this patriarch daughter. That was really cool.
So she's a Donna.
See her, yeah.
Yep. And so 7233 at Montana Ranch. That's the cow's tattoo, and I don't have her pedigree in front of me, so I'm drawing a blank. But
I got you.
That is a patriarch daughter out of 7233 that we purchased as an embryo from Montana Ranch, and that fits the paradigm there of what we did with Craftsman.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah,
and
really
I noticed you saw her. She's in the young cows
yes,
she's a 3-year-old. So this was her first calf, and you glanced across there and saw her.
And Brent saw me peeking.
Yeah, and so I said, "Yep, that's going to be one of them." And that might have been where I introduced that. Yeah, we get.
Yeah, that's kind of the Craftsman idea, and it worked. It worked really, really well. Lot 49 is another really cool Craftsman, guys. Let's talk about him real quick.
So that one, we were videotaping one particular bull, and then he come up beside him, and this is a bull that
5068.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk carcass. A marbling 0.99, 1.07 on ribeye. He's a $90 M.
Oh, 5044. I'm sorry. Yes, 5044.
Yes. Yep, lot 49. Craftsman out of a Millbrae 5-star, and same phenotype.
Yeah.
In terms of that square hip, big top, soft belly.
Yeah, he was a superstar, and that cow that he's out of, guys. Like he said, when you see him, you're gonna figure out. I don't know if I was Brent. I don't know if I would tell everybody how to use Craftsman, because he kind of figured out the golden. I don't know, the key to it, I guess, because I haven't seen any Craftsmans like this, guys. I'm telling you, you got to come here. It's the best set of Craftsmans that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them in a lot of places. And I told Brent when I said that I'm not blowing smoke anywhere. That's a fact. That's truth. This is, to me, in my eyes, this is I've never seen Craftsmans with this much middle, this much thickness, this much muscle. Gosh, they were all good, man. Like the ones we're talking about, just amazing how your vision was to breed Craftsman. Like, it worked. I mean, you figured it out in a year or two, however long you've been doing it, you figured it out, and I was blown away by all of them. And this lot 49, I don't know if we talked about it, but he's over 1 on marbling. And, a 0.9 on marbling, a 1.07 on ribeye, and he's got the phenotype, and he just holds it all together. What a cool calf.
Thanks, Scott.
I wish, you guys figured it out for sure. There's no question. All right, we got a pretty special flush coming up next. We get to talk about these Armstrongs out of what we call this 11 cow. Lots 28 and 29. They're pretty special.
Well, so Matt Lowry got us on this cow in Brookdale Angus in Iowa when Metzgers were dispersing there. And Matt called us and said, you need to look at this female. And so she's a sits resilient.
He didn't call me. A little mad now. But that's okay, Matt. I'll forgive you. No problem.
and I don't know what to follow up there on, but we, and that was fun today too, because
oh my God,
Matt came up in our discussions multiple times today.
Absolutely.
And he's got to just wonder how much he's getting talked about,
He knows.
That would be fun. So anyway, resilient daughter. Her grandma is the Brookdale Jody that has just been a rock. For them.
Been like one of the greatest cows of that program.
Yep. And so this cow has delivered. I mean, and I'll let Austin explain but in terms of EPD package, she's over 100 on $M, very high marbling cow, 145 on yearling. I mean, just teat and udder are both 10%. This female really, really does a good job on paper. And then when you look at her, I'm going to let Austin explain her.
Yeah.
And then, so we mated her to Armstrong.
Yes.
And so, again, I think, commercial calves that if you wanted to do some testing genomically are going to just be fabulous. But phenotypically, what we see here in this mating is it really lined up as well. So,
yeah. And I think that Jody 11 cow is probably, she's a rock star on paper. And then you look at her in person and she probably fits our environment. Really. I mean, we're really out here in eastern Colorado.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of short grass country, not a lot of rain, especially this fall and winter. Things are a little dry and dusty, but a little not really moderate, but she's not a big cow. But there's a ton of stoutness and a ton of body there. I mean, just really, really dense, and there's a ton to her. And good in terms of udder and teat structure as well. Good in terms of foot quality. So there's a lot that's just really, really solid about that cow. But follow the mindset of creating problem-free cattle. So that one kind of rides middle of the road on a lot of things, not really in terms of quality. She's a little more up there in terms of quality.
Yeah, phenotype, she's crazy.
But middle of the road in terms of options that you can do with her. You can throw something like Armstrong on her and put a little bit more look and carcass data into them and a little more muscle expression, or we could go the judgment rangeland route and just create super mamas there too. And so that's kind of a nice female that follows kind of what we want to do on the program in terms of ride the middle ground and be able to give us options. Which way do we go? Do we go more carcass and performance, or do we just create rock star females that are going to last 10, 12, 15 years in production too? So the Armstrong mating on her was really good in terms of maybe giving her a little bit more length, giving that cow a little bit more look, but a lot of muscle shape and a lot of expression. I think that flush, both the bulls and the heifers still looked very maternal in their type and kind and a ton of body. But on the bulls, I think they number up pretty well and still offer a lot of look, good foot quality, sound structured. There's no reservations there.
Yeah, it was those Armstrongs, they got just more middle to them, more rib to them than a lot of the Armstrongs you see, and that obviously comes from her, So yeah, she did her job with that cross, because it worked. Like, you took the numbers thing and you put it on top of that cow who has the numbers too, but also the phenotype. You wouldn't look at her and think she numbers the way she does. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. She'll shock you when you look at paper.
She will shock. Yeah, she will. Yeah, because you just. Yeah, I mean, you expect certain things when you see a cow like that. I mean, let's be honest, you just kind of do. And then when you look at her pedigree, when you look at her EPDs, you're like, that's the cow I just looked at. Like, it's pretty, it's awesome, man.
So the two leadoff bulls out of her would be lots 28 and 29.
You just
and when you look at those two bulls, so they're both basically right around a 1 on marbling and then about a 0.5, 0.6 on ribeye. $M is pushing 90. And we're basically at $300 C. So the, really balanced trait genetics there. And then all almost 1,400 pound yearling weights on those bulls. And so, Scott, what we didn't say is that cow's a partnership cow. And so the easiest thing to do in a partnership deal is we put them all in the sale. And so we have 5 heifers
and then
out of that flush.
That's awesome.
They are really nice. So they're all on. And in Tina's footnote, she's like, to somebody to sweep the ring and take all 5 of them, and it would be the most uniform set of females, and then the numbers are uniform. It's quite a set.
You know how fun that would be to play with, the breedings on those 5. If you could get all 5 of them and just see how what they do. You could do anything you wanted to with those. You could go either way. Like Austin was saying with the cow, you could do it even more with her. You're just that kind of one generation away if you want to go ahead and throw a $450 C bull on her or something like that, or you can go the maternal route on those calves too. Like, they just give you all the options in the world. I think they're going to be great females themselves. So what an option there. Yeah, the bulls are awesome, guys. Generation away. But offering those kind of females is $450 C bull, and they're all on the sale. They're all for you guys. Just go ahead and like Tina says, sweep the ring. If you're starting a herd, or if you're building a herd, or if you just want some of the best females that are offered this year in the country, just go ahead and get at it, Just a great flush, that Armstrong on that cow. Ooh, man, that was crazy. Want to talk about any other females? How many females are we selling in the sale?
So we're at 19, I think, or 18 or 19. And we kind of sampled a little bit of everything. And so there's a couple prairie rains. We haven't touched on him. And so one of the better calving these bulls in the offering is an LT Prairie Rain. And
that's right. Yeah, we saw him.
Yeah, we went. Yeah. So Prairie Rain, the first set of Badlands bulls that sold at LT, we went up there and got this guy and he's out of a Rainmaker 4404 daughter. And again, just layering in those genetics, those good maternal genetics, and that cow's at Brent Thiel's place. And so we got him, and then we skip a year, and then last year that cow had LT Flint, which topped that sale.
Right.
So Prairie Rain's a full sib to Flint. Flint's got a little more punch in his EPDs, and I think it's a little bit more powerful than our bull. But Prairie Rain we've used in a lot of commercial heifer situations, and those guys just love them. The daughters are impeccable. They're doing great, and so we're really pleased there. But that lead-off LT or that Prairie Rain bull is just big ribbed and cool, and so there's a few of them. We put a couple of those girls in the sale as well. There's some Chieftain heifers in the sale.
Oh, nice.
As well. Then also we've got one Deep Water and a couple North Stars. We haven't touched on Bear Mountain North Star.
That's right.
But there's 3 or 4 bulls in the sale out of North Star, maybe 5 or 6. And there's another bull that delivers a lot of punch in terms of frame and grow and tremendous amount of look. And so there's some of those heifers in there too. And then, a nice balance of things.
A great balance, yeah. The heifers are great too, guys, like all the way through. It's not just those flush heifers. We're talking about these too, and come and get a hold. Like Brent's putting them in there. Brent, Dina, and Austin are putting in the goods. Like he said, he wants to make sure you guys got great heifers and you're happy when you take them home. So, and they're in really good shape. Like I think they're in, they're not fat. They're not overly fat. They're just in really nice shape. Brent wants them to breed when you take them home, and I think that's what they're gonna do. You can see some of these sale heifers that in other places that can get a little chunky and you get a little hard time getting them bred. I don't think that's the way these are gonna be.
Well, thanks.
You've had great success selling them in the past like this too.
Yep, and they're guaranteed.
Yeah,
we'll
and they're
guarantee that as well.
Yeah, I just think they're in a beautiful rig. When you're getting ready to breed them, that you can still get them on that uptick on the nutrition diet and start AIMs, and they're going to breed. So yeah, very cool set. I loved my trip out here to Colorado, guys. Just barely into Colorado though, so we still got Husker fans out here, so that's good. But except for Austin, he went to K-State, but that we'll forgive him. I understand that. No, it was a great time out here, guys. I loved it, Brent. Thanks so much, man. It was a really fun tour. Yeah, it was a blast. I was really. I didn't know what to think coming out here. Obviously, I haven't been out here before. I mean, I've gone through catalogs and stuff every year, but it was quite the treat. The cows for me. I mean, I love the bulls, guys. But I'm a cow guy. I'm a maternal guy, and that was awesome. That was awesome.
Well, thanks. We appreciate you coming the whole way here.
So, no problem.
And we did. That was fun, and it's always fun to show people what we have and what we're trying to do, and we like telling the message and the story that we have. Some people may not like it, or it may not be the flavor that they're in, but it's the story and the message that we think we need for our customers and that commercial cattlemen, and most of them are in central Nebraska there, and what they need in terms of their program and the environment that they're in. We like what we're doing, for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to give a little plug for your meat store. Don't you have a meat store in town?
We do
too, right?
Yeah,
we have about that real quick.
The beef barn of Vision Angus.
Okay.
And so it goes back. Everybody sells a little bit of beef, in terms of halves, wholes, and quarters. And then Austin's wife is Sarah. Sarah's from Iowa, and she got her food science degree at Iowa State.
Okay.
And so it kind of all fits together very nicely. And so it's been a nice revenue stream for us. It's been a nice employment opportunity for Sarah. And we're growing. We don't have really an internet presence right now.
Okay.
Everything's frozen. We've got a nice little store that we rent. Denver steaks to fajitas to Austin help.
Carne asada, bavettes. Bavettes is a big seller.
Oh, you do?
Yes, and I'd never heard of a bavette before we opened the store.
I like it.
There's a lot of neat little areas to where, if you just send that animal off for a half or a whole going to somebody, it's a lot of that stuff's going to get ground in the hamburger. But finding ways to add value to it, I think is huge. And then to be able to look back at some of the genetics that we're raising, and even though we're not carcass scanning bulls this year, ultrasound, it's still cool to see what genetics are working to give us more marbling. And so there's all kinds of computer scans and algorithms that some of the big packers are using to grade things, but the visual appraisal on some of this stuff is awesome.
That's got to be kind of cool to get to see that of your guys' genetics, that, when you get to see it in the store and all cut up and you can see the marbling inside. That's kind of neat. And I mean, that's got to be pretty cool.
It's fun. Yep. I think that's a big selling point behind it. And that's why people love the CAB. Anything CAB branded is there after the marbling and the flavor and the texture and the tenderness of it. And so that's been huge. And throwing everything in a vacuum sealed package to where you can actually
nice.
look
And
and
see it.
see what the marbling is like.
Yeah, when you're picking out your steak, you can actually see it.
It's been fun. And then we do some farming out here too, corn, wheat, and millet. And so taking some of the wheat that we actually grew out here and having it cleaned and sorted and then grinding it, we can have a whole other 3-hour-long podcast on the human nutrition side of things.
I like that.
But trying to dip into that side of things a little bit more to where it's a little more wholesome, a little more natural, and just not as enriched, not as refined, not as processed, and just trying to kind of come back to our roots of good meat, good bread, good flour, just good nutrition, good health.
Good, clean food. Yep. Yeah, we need that. I agree, man. That's awesome. You guys got a lot going on out here, and it's really cool that your wife gets to do that store. That's awesome, man.
Enriched, not as refined, not as processed, and just trying to kind of
and stay in the family. That's a pretty neat opportunity.
And we're going to stuff your bag full of Vision Angus beef sticks on the way home.
I'm excited. I can't wait. I haven't ate supper yet, so I'm excited for that. That'll be a road trip. That'd be great. No, Brent, I am, man. I was. I don't know how to put it into words today.
And stay in the family.
Just
That's
how
pretty neat opportunity.
How it was out there, guys. It was so much fun. Like I said, those females really blew me away. So I'm telling you, like, come and get the bulls, because when you great bulls are byproducts of great cows, and they've got the great cows. So come and get the bulls, because they're truly a byproduct of those great females that they have, and their vision out here, Vision Angus, is I'm all behind it. I'm going to support it. I'm excited for it. I'm going to push this thing because I think they're doing great things.
Great bulls are byproducts of great cows, and they've got the great cows. So, come and get the bulls, because they're truly a byproduct of those great females
keeps you guys
that they have.
profitable,
and
which
their
is the
vision
main
out here,
thing,
Vision
right?
Angus,
Everybody needs to be profitable.
I'm all behind it. I'm going to support it.
Right? So
I'm excited.
I think that's their vision in the end, is to keep this thing going and make sure everybody stays profitable and can keep ranching and keep living this lifestyle. So with that, guys, I really appreciate the time today. March 2nd, North Platte, Lincoln County Fairgrounds. Do not miss it. I'm excited for it. Are we on the internet anywhere?
Yep, DV Auction.
Cool. DV Auction, guys. Make sure you check it out there. They do a great job. If you can't make the sale, make sure you bid or buy online right there at DV Auction. It's a great platform. They do a fantastic job. So check out that for sure. And before I let you go, contact information, website, how can people get a hold of Vision Angus and maybe come out here and take a tour before the sale and check out what you got going on?
Yep, so visionangus.com.
Cool.
We're on Facebook, so we can do Vision Angus on Facebook, or Brent Tina Veesenmeyer on Facebook is the other source there. And then Sarah does a pretty good job a really good job on the Beef Barn of Vision Angus on our Facebook there as well.
Nice. I like that. Cool.
And then the other thing, Scott, we always get a lot of visitors. So the sale's on Monday. Cattle will get to North Platte on Saturday. We get a lot of visitors on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Come by.
Okay, cool.
And
come out here and take a tour
that
before
works
the
really
sale.
good. We do start at 2 o'clock, or just a little later. We are going to have the most awesome barbecue brisket, or a brisket deal. We've got a restaurant here in town that caters it. And then Hazel Bobenmeyer pies.
Okay, cool.
And we got those
Hazel
as well.
what now? Hazel what now?
Hazel Bobenmeyer is from McCook.
Oh, okay, got it.
And she's a great lady, and there's a lot of, I think she does pies. They're famous.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're
Love it.
bringing you into the loop.
Love
here.
it.
So anyway, March 2nd, and and then you can find our phone numbers there, or message us as well. But we'd love to talk to people ahead of time, and I think that's more important to us, is that what are your needs? Where are you headed? What can we do? What do we have that might fit you? But we want to hear from them first before we tell them what we have.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really important thing that, I think people are getting better communication. I think this podcast is helping with that.
And I think that's
guys,
more important to us, is that
call Brent, call Tina, call Austin. Tell them what your needs are. Tell them what you want. And they're going to show you the bulls that fit your program and fit what you want. And then you can decide from there. It's up to you. But let them know what you want in a bull or a female that you're buying. And I think that's really important, that people communicate with the breeders and find out more about what's going on here and see what can fit into your program. So that's a really great point, because I love that, just more communication. Everybody does better, it's for everybody. It's for you guys. It's for them. So I really encourage you to check out visionangus.com, go to dvauction.com, find the catalog, find the bulls, find what you want, call Brent, tell him what you want, and go through that. And I think everybody will be happy. So.
And feel free to stop by beforehand.
Yeah,
just because it's sale prep season doesn't mean we don't want visitors.
Yeah,
the more the merrier. Come on by. We're just 30 minutes south of I-80, about 2 hours north of I-70, and just right inside of Colorado. So the more the merrier. Come on by. The cows are right here. Bulls are right here in the lot pens. So we welcome any visitors beforehand.
I love that. That's awesome. Yep, absolutely, guys. Stop by, and you're going to see maternal sisters. You're going to see the dams of a bunch of the bulls. So yeah, definitely stop by, like Austin said. So thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
so
Scott.
much fun. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for listening and watching the Herd Report. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.